Okay, so that is it for the officers' report. Moving to officers' report. Senator Pro Tempore, Senator Brown.
Okay, so from what we had last week, repetitive comments count was 14. Superfluous comments count was 9. So definitely better than the week before. We had a lot to talk about. The one thing I want to say is be consistent in what you say. There have been a number of times where people express an opinion, and then later in the meeting they express a different opinion, and then they change again. So if you be consistent in what you say, don't flip-flop that much about everything. If information has been provided to you that will change your view, then all right. But there have been a lot of times where nothing substantial has been said and someone will oppose something in speech and then still vote for it at the end, which I really just don't get at all. And the other thing is you need to define every term you're going to use before you say something. Because there's been a lot of times where people have said power words, and I doubt that it actually means what those people think it means. So you want to have a definition of every term you use, and you want to make sure that everyone is on the level about that term and what it means before you actually say that. Because there are people that will use power words in speech and nobody else understands exactly what they mean by it. They all have this sort of vague idea of what it means, but no one actually knows, and it's never really explained. And in addition to that is, if you don't know what something means when someone else says something, ask about it. Please ask about it. Because if you're voting on something based on what someone else said, and you don't even know exactly what they said in the first place, then you're voting without all the information. And I wouldn't say that voting without perfect information is the worst thing you could do, but it's definitely not the best thing you could do. So there's definitely ways to improve there, and I'd like to see that in this meeting. Other than that, good job, everybody. You've been doing nice work. Nice work.
Sergeant at Arms, Senator Jones.
Hey everybody, guess what day it is? Hump Day! Happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope that you're having a good week and staying strong with finals upon us. I don't have much to report other than make sure you scan your CAT card. We have like a full house tonight, guys. Thanks for coming. And we do have like open seats over here if anyone wants to sit down. But if you did not scan your CAT card on your way in, please scan it on your way out. Ken over there has the CAT card scanned.
No, I don't.
Oh, is that not it?
No.
Are we scanning outside?
Yes, we are.
Oh, just kidding. Scan outside the door. Oh. It's calculated? Yeah, that's all.
Okay, Senator Gill.
After reviewing all of the minutes last week, they're all up to date, they're pretty much perfect. And also just based on like reviewing last week's minutes and reviewing all the minutes in general this entire semester, don't vote with the majority. Vote the way you feel you should vote for the bills. I don't want to see anyone looking around to see who is voting for what and then going, oh yeah, I'm gonna like raise my hand. Also, seconds are really important. So if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to talk about it if you don't second it. So that being said, yeah, everyone have a good night.
ICC Liaison, Senator Wong.
So just a reminder, ICC have a lot of money. When you talk to the clubs and organizations on campus, when they ask for funding, especially when it comes to things like that does not relate to conferences and trips, please refer them to ICC. Again, big ticket items are on the first week of the month. So this upcoming month will be the last for the semester, and they're also contemplating between having an additional meeting for smaller ticket items for the remainder of the semester.
Court Liaison, Senator Dixon.
Court did not meet this week, so there's nothing to report.
Thank you. Committee report, Budget and Finance, Senator Mondo.
We met as usual in KL 119. Senator Wong was absent due to illness. All of the members were present. Just a reminder to members of the committee, we aren't going to be meeting tomorrow at 3. Turns out we don't actually get as much done in those meetings as we'd have hoped. So we're going to be trying to plan. We're going to try and find a time we can get together for about 4 or 5 hours, and then just hash this out because we're running out of time. And I did say we have something for Senate by the last meeting, and I think it's going to be incredibly important if we get a new, some tweaks to our bylaws at least for next semester. Other than that, we'll be meeting on Monday at 12:30 in KL 119.
Student activities, no, academic affairs, Senator Brown.
We met, we discussed all the bills. Everyone was present. And all the bills that were in front of us, we all discussed our different things that we were working on. There was no new specific updates about that time. So,
Is that it?
yeah.
I said so. Student activities, Senator Wong.
Everyone was present, and the other thing was, just a reminder, it did get moved to Thursday, to another time, in case that's not in the minutes. And then the other thing is, I'm going to be contacting each senator individually for the clubs that you would like to be in charge of, for the 12 clubs. That's already announced to ICC, so unless specific clubs come to you, please let me know, then we'll make sure that another senator aren't going to be in charge of that also. And the goal of that is to make sure that smaller clubs are getting helped, also that the students are contacting you individually for their own personal problems or things that they want to voice through you.
Student advocacy, Senator Hernandez.
Senator Jennings and report from me, I wasn't there.
So, Senator Hernandez was excused due to, was it a sports issue?
No, meeting in LA.
Oh, meeting in LA. Senator Husto was also excused due to personal conflicts of time, so Senators Tease, Taylor, and myself were present at the meeting. We discussed about Bill 25 and Bill 26. We decided not to talk about the resolutions because there was no further information given at the table. So our vote still remains the same.
Okay, so
I'm actually going to start with one, I think, kind of more broader thing. I try and end with those, but I'd like to start with this. Executive reports. As Jefferson mentioned, we mentioned a lot of stuff up here, and we're constantly doing stuff. We're running all kinds of assignments in Michigan. We've got tons of people working on all kinds of projects, and they all relate to you. You are in a very general position in ASUCM, which I would interpret as everything in ASUCM relates to your position. So please, listen to what we're saying, listen to information. Make sure it's at the discussion, at the table. Make sure that the projects you're doing, you come to us, we invite you to work with us, do that stuff. Read the stuff that we send out in email. Working very hard in these positions to try and inform you, and I think it will help make you a better senator. You're going to be more informed about what we're doing, and we can't be held accountable if you're not informed about what we're doing, right? You're the only people that can do it. You're the ones that know what we're doing day to day. I'm the one giving the report every week to you, along with other elected officers, the candidate, everybody. So please make sure if you're going to hold us accountable. You got to know what we're doing, and that's a very important thing. Just right up to the student union building, I really appreciate having Jane in here, and that was Vice Chancellor Lawrence. Sorry, that was a wonderful thing, and I really appreciate any time the administration takes time to come talk to us. Some core principles that I think are really important in remembering the student union building as we move forward. This is going to take some time, but we have to put work into this. We have to earn this. This is something that will be valuable for the campus, something that students will have. And we're looking into it and everything right now, but I want to make sure that this is something that is a heart of the campus. Something where students can feel at home, they have the resources that they need, and that they know they can go there and have the services that are provided, have the restaurants that they like, something that they can say, this is mine on campus. And the university of every other entity, this part is mine. That this is something that is things that students want, things that will serve students, and I think if it's paid for by students, things that students will be able to run, able to manage and learn that leadership opportunity. A lot of students would benefit from having those positions, those jobs, those management areas, trying to do that stuff. And something we should continue to keep in mind moving forward. I want to encourage everybody to attend the ASUCM meeting tomorrow, 12 to 3 p.m. with the Associate Vice Chancellor of, I believe, the Budget and Planning, right, correct, at UC Irvine. They just built a student union building. That's a great opportunity to meet with them. It'll be in KL 232, 12 to 1's a lunch, 1 to 3 is a discussion. Please attend if you can. A lot of stuff's been said about SOCC, and I pretty much want to agree with it. I even got an awesome quote, which is kind of cool, first time that happens. So SOCC, I think, was a mixed bag, but the conference itself and how the conference was done, I think, are two separate things. And I believe that SOCC this year was a vast improvement in content and quality of that over the last year. I think that that rally, you'll probably see in the video later, that turned heads. You know, seeing someone standing up in the middle of a downtown LA street on top of a car, yelling on the microphone with 1,000 students out there all wearing blue shirts and that chanting down LA, that's powerful stuff. That gets the news out there, and that shows that students are powerful. We heard a police officer, I believe, I'm not sure if this was mentioned, mentioned that this is something that they had never seen in their like 25 years on the force, as far as student protests go. So we did great with that. And I think the criticisms really go back down to the planning committee and kind of just general conference stuff. I think that's something we can provide with Jefferson. Give them feedback. Let's write a letter. Let's send that in. Make sure that we have better planning next year. They start earlier. They get all their T's crossed, I's dotted. But overall, I really appreciated a lot of what they were doing. Morale in Senate. So, you know, one thing, Senate, ASUCM, I think this is incredibly important, right? Y'all should love this. You should get your teeth into this and absolutely take, I mean, you are in an elected position for students, right? You are there because hundreds of students, hundreds of students voted for you to put you in that office, voted for me to put me in this office, and that's powerful. And that means, I mean, this is something that is not just a responsibility, I think it's pretty fun. We get to do a lot of really cool things, go to awesome conferences, meet awesome people, make real difference. But the other part of that is you gotta support each other. You gotta try and do new things. If you're not working on something right now, pick it. You know, pick something. Work with someone else. Work on their project. I just want to say, like, snap on stuff. You see a few people, hey, this is something cool. Nice thing, you can talk. You know, I can continue to talk. It's not terribly distracting. That shows some support. That's some positivity out there, right? Saying, hey, you're doing good work. Show some clapping. Clap after speakers. Clap after things. Say good job after things, and show some love. That's, I guess, the biggest thing. Show some love for each other. We do a lot of work. It's a stressful job, and you should be showing positivity whenever someone's doing something good and trying to do good things. Please mention those things. It's more important, I'd say, than calling people out for the bad things. It's specific, calling people out for the good things that they're doing. So I also want to say, you know, External Ops has been doing a great job. When they send out that government relations thing, I know a lot of you have been looking into resolutions. That is a great way to find a bill or piece of legislation that will tangibly help students policy-wise, that you can write a resolution with support, that I think then be sent into the Capitol and have an impact in trying to get that passed. So if you're looking for something to do, doing a resolution, that is a great place to kind of mine and get some info out of there. For Napolitano, President Napolitano, my report on that, so far so good. She came in with a lot of controversy. I think we took a strong stance. Arguably, I would say we were the leader in the UC system. Saying, hey, you know what, she is, I think, a reasonable person. We need to build a relationship with her. She has things we want, and we want to get those for our campus, right? We want buildings, we want stuff like that. We need to be treating her in a way with that respect, so she respects us and helps us where we want to go. So far, allocated $15 million to students, $5 million to undergraduate education programs, or AB 540 undergraduate programs. In addition to that, meeting with COP, meeting with UCSA, the tuition freeze, putting a pretty, I think, awesome budget out there too. So she's really doing a lot of great work. And I'm proud to say that I think our delegation was by far the most rational, most coordinated. UCSA or SOCC was most together. We talked about issues. When we see something up there, people yelling at a monitor, we say, hey, let's actually talk about this. And that showed a level of professionalism that I think was impressive to other campuses. So great job for everybody that attended. Wonderful on that. One thing that I'm pursuing right now, speaking of lobbying people that have things we want, right, trying to get that influence. I am currently in the process of trying to get monthly meetings with the Chancellor regarding ASUCM issues. I think we work on a lot of important things, and that's something that I'm trying to do right now. I would say right now there has been a lack of communication. So I'm trying to pursue that. That way we bring all the things we're doing, bring these resolutions to her, let her know what we're doing, and have us be included. University has a policy of shared governance, UCOP policy 120. That means we are involved in the decision-making process. We are not brought in as an afterthought. We're not brought in as, you need to go do this, and hey, now that we've made a decision, go bring it to the students. No, we need to get clear at the table. The university is here for the students. We should have a process in that. So I'm working on trying to ensure that we have that communication, and going forward with that, so hear more. I also want to say thank you again to Max Schruggs, I think, and Julian, but hey, you guys rock. Like, they travel thousands of miles at a time, so them coming to our campus is pretty cool. Please meet with them, talk to them about stuff, add yourself, or email Max so you can get on his email list. He sends out one every few weeks that's letting you know everything about USSA. So that's been really helpful for me. I may need a small extension on time. After all those kind of positive things, I want to bring up something that is, as Ivan mentioned, I think of critical importance to ASUCM, a festering thing that has been mentioned in not quite as happy, but I think something that's necessary. After our executive meeting last night, of course, court, as we know, has not been particularly functional at this point. There has not been meetings this year, cases. I mean, I would be fearful to bring a case to court just for the fact that we don't know if they need enough. If that's going to actually be something that's functional to the decision. It undermines, I think, the branches that we have and our accountability and legitimacy. With that, of the 7 justices, I will be pursuing, asking resignations from 6 of the justices, the 6 that are currently serving, for not having these meetings, for not contributing to that. I believe they all share guilt in that. We will not be asking for the new justice, Jalen Siler's resignation, as he was just appointed and did not take part in that system and having that at the beginning of the meetings, trying to organize those things. That's something I will be moving forward with. Within 2 weeks, I'm hoping to receive a majority of those. If they do not send them in, at this point, I will be asking one of the senators to move for removal, which will be a process of trying to do it. Can I get an extension?
Senator Jones?
3 minutes.
No.
I'm sorry.
Motion to increase the speaker's time by 3 minutes.
This is a motion to increase the speaker's time by 3 minutes. Is there a second? Senator Wong? Second by Senator Wong. Any discussion? Anyone opposed? 3 minutes.
Cool, thank you. So this is something that I believe is very important. A court is there to hold us accountable. When we have these gray areas on the table of bylaws and what they really mean, when you disagree about an interpretation of that, that's where we should be going. But right now, we can't even trust that branch to be able to go to that. Students aren't being served because then we're making decisions without the branch that actually would make the final decision on what reads in those documents. So that is something I'll be moving forward with. I'd like your support. This is something we discussed with the executive meeting, and I talked to Adam previously about this. This is something we've been talking in discussion with court for months, and I think it's finally time to take action as another branch to make sure that happens. Regarding the bills, there's a lot of money on the table tonight. I just want to encourage you, if you have any questions at all, I do have experience with some of the previous speakers last year. I ended up actually hosting, as a senator, running one of the speaker things. I have some info on that. Please feel free to use me as a reference. One thing I would like to see discussed at the table regarding that is the efficacy of bringing expensive speakers. This is not a $500 speaker, it's not a $1,000 speaker. And I just want to say that if we're using this much student fees, what are the tangible benefits? What are the student body getting out of it? How do we make sure that the money is returned to us? It's not saying it's a negative necessarily, it's saying how do we make sure that that happens if we do spend that type of money? I think we'd all agree that this is a pretty significant allocation. So that's a discussion I'd really like to see at the table in my decision making. Regarding the conference, one thing I want to mention I had discussed was supporting this at the level of $20,000 for a $60,000 conference at 1/3 for about 1/3 undergraduate UCM students attending. That is something that I still think is a fair thing. I know the bill is much more than that. So I encourage you all to be creative with seeing about fundraising options, how things are happening, and asking why we need to put so much into this with that. That is an important thing for me. 12 months back that was an amount I felt comfortable with. And the resolution for reformatting. As you all know, our bylaws are complex. There'll be more discussion at the table, but we don't have a good system of it. They're really difficult. They're difficult for senators to read, and if it's difficult for all of you to read, it's real difficult for all the students on campus to read, and that's not transparent. If they can't read our bylaws and know how we operate, that's bad. So the resolution I encourage you to support, it's something that I think will really make it a little more clear, a little more transparent. And also the bylaws, I need to be sent those bylaw additions that were made at the table. Look at my constitutional role. All legislative actions do have to go to me. I do have the authority to veto those. Whether or not I do, that's important to maintain that. So I just need that sent to me. I know the bylaws were updated on the website and it was unclear. I'm asking that those be at least taken down and sent back to me so I can send them back in officially through the proper processes. I'm creating an accountability aspect of ASUCM. 5 seconds. Oh. All right. Can I get like 2 more minutes? Sorry about that.
Senator Jones,
Motion to increase the speaker's time for 3 minutes.
there's been a motion to increase the speaker's time by 3 minutes. Is there a second? Senator Hernandez? Seconded by Senator Hernandez. Any discussion? Opposed?
Thank you. So one thing about court is not proactive. Court does not address issues specifically. They don't go after stuff, but they do have the authority to make decisions. And I'd like to create a body inside of ASUCM that is able to be proactive in addressing issues without having the authority to make decisions, something that can submit things to courts and finally be the final arbiter. But something that will keep track of attendance and whether we're spending money, whether the trips I go on is an educational benefit for students or for whatever purposes it is, to make sure, again, we're being accountable, someone that's looking over our back to make sure everything's good. So that's something I am working on right now. I do not know exactly what it will look like, but I have asked some of my staff to take this on and look into it. It will be for all of ASUCM. I'm trying to make sure that it is neutral. It is something that will not hinder the organization, but it is something that will keep students informed and keep the organization transparent. On a positive note, I want to say execs and a lot of people are doing a lot of great work. Jess Lopez, working on the computers, website, tabling, marketing, held a very successful town hall. Aria in the external office working on all the different campaigns and doing a ton of voter registration. Ton of the poster on Anna, she's been out there all the time. I'm sure you've seen her check out the table regularly. Ish with the NACA conference, bare necessities, Camp Sterical, what do you want? Tons of events coming up. Ivan, I think with the Diversity Leadership Conference, really I think you met with all the different senators at the table, made sure to commit time to that. As well as conflict resolution, really trying to work on all this stuff. I think the execs in general have really improved in that category. We're really getting along much better. And I think seeing that common vision. Jefferson with SSCC, the board meeting, week of action, lobby visits, Jessica working on an education program. What I mean to say is execs are doing a ton of stuff, right? Be excited about this job, love it. Like, get involved. If you're not doing stuff, you're not spending a lot of time in this, I would say that you need to find something to do, right? Get involved in the project. Students trusted you with this. So please, always put yourself to a standard of what you would expect as a student on campus. If they voted for you, they're going to expect you, again, to transform the organization, to make those changes you promised. So write down your campaign goals, see what you can do to fix that in the next few months or get them up there. And over winter break, there's something my fraternity says is you are always wearing your letters. I believe as an ASUCM elected official, we are always wearing our office, right? We're always sitting in that chair. Over winter break, don't have that as a time. You're just going to sit back only, watch old episodes of Friends, have some turkey. Like, in some time, keep up on the emails. Keep up. We're trying to do lobby visits over winter break, trying to do a bunch of interesting stuff. Work on bylaws, work on different projects. Please use that time as a productive time to take on new stuff too. With that, again, excited, create it, learn it, love it, show some love for each other. And I think I have a minute maybe.
10 seconds.
Great. Any questions? Wonderful. Thank you all.